We once were, we are no longer a Christian nation, at least not just. We are also a Jewish nation, a Muslim nation, and a Buddhist nation, and a Hindu nation, and a nation of non-believers.
You could put half of Trump supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables. The racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic. You could put half of Trump supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables. The racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, you name it.
People have been beaten down so long. So people want like that, and a way to explain their frustrations.
White Republican suburban women are now going to vote Republican.
Why?
It's almost like roaches voting for Raid.
You voted for Trump. You voted for the person who the Klan supported. You voted for the person.
Almost like roaches voting for Raid.
You voted for Trump. You voted for the person who the Klan supported.
I do. I'll be honest with you. I have no respect for you.
Class resentment is a lot and anti...
I do. I'll be honest with you. I have no respect for you.
Class resentment is a lot and anti-intellectualism and elitism is what is driving many of these anti-establishment, which are Trump voters,
right.
Are anti-establishment.
Absolutely.
The script was ready, the stage was don't mix. Somehow Joe logged himself onto Zoom and said this.
Just the other day, a speaker at his rally called Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage. Well, let me tell you something. I don't know the Puerto Rican that I know, or Puerto Rico where I'm in my home state of Delaware. They're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
It sounds like he's...
Matthew 12. And Jesus knew their thoughts, and said unto them, Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand?
Calling Trump supporters their garbage.
Just to address the president's comments yesterday, referring to Trump supporter as garbage. Does he think less of Americans who support Trump than he does of those who do not? And two, why is he using that kind of rhetoric? How is that presidential?
So a couple of things. So just to clarify, he was not calling Trump supporters garbage.
The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
Which is why he this is why he wanted to make sure that we put out a statement that clarified what he meant and what he was trying to say. And so just want to make that very clear for folks who are watching.
The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
I want to put it into a larger context of your recent comment comparing the Sunday Trump rally to a Nazi rally. And I would also throw in there Obama's bitter clingers, guns and religion comment from a while back, the deplorable line from Hillary Clinton's campaign, and the way that Democrats are seen by some voters as disrespecting them. And I have to ask, does that undercut this closing message of unity from your campaign?
No, certainly not.
This did not sit well with the people of Pennsylvania. Listen.
We had Obama say we clung to our guns and religion. Hillary called us deplorables, and now Biden calls us trash. So that's what the left really thinks of us, and I think it's disgusting.
It feels very demeaning, you know. I've been a Republican my whole life, and it's a privilege to be a Republican and a conservative, and I stand for conservative values, and I think I can process thoughts and have my own thought pattern, and to be called garbage for those thoughts is not necessarily an uplifting comment.
We're just normal Americans that are trying to make a difference in the people around us in business. I'm a businesswoman, and to be called trash is just, it's degrading.
Isaiah 19, in the midst thereof, And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt
I mean, that's really what they think of us is we're like deplorables and trash.
You know what I love about these diners? It is middle America, and it's how we all grew up. You know, going to church on Sundays. You moved your whole family down to Nashville because you wanted them to have that a Southern education or a Southern philosophy, Southern way of life. When I was watching Kamala Harris's rally and I saw the young students who were yelling Jesus is Lord, and she said, "You're at the wrong rally." Like, middle America is not like that.
You're exactly right, Ainsley. For modern Democrats, government is king. But for most Americans in middle America, Christ is king. And so it's a very different viewpoint.
It is my belief.
Shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. And they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards.
Promises to bring joy to America. Yet her campaign is predominantly focused on demonizing her opponent. The other candidate claims he'll fix the country. But from my 50 years of reporting on politics, I can tell you that only God can truly heal what troubles America. So if you're wondering where God is as Harris and Trump battle for what they consider the most important election in our nation's history, know that God is busy at work. Spiritual revivals are breaking out in prisons and on college campuses. The ministry God Behind Bars introduced CBN News to Daniel, a former gang member who left drugs and a Satanist cult after discovering Jesus in jail.
The Lord did many signs, wonders, and miracles. But I mean, I've seen the glory of God. There's nobody greater, nobody more powerful, nobody more dangerous. So it's good when you need a warrior on your side. He's a man of battle for real.
The ministry God Behind Bars reports that back in May, 25 men at a maximum security prison in South Dakota accepted Christ and were baptized. Earlier this month, 1,000 students made decisions for Christ during a Unite Us event at the University of Florida. Gators love water, right? About 200 students were spontaneously baptized in a nearby lake. God is changing lives on college campuses.
And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord of hosts.
Live in a sea of fire. You are small. You don't even have some